an economic direction for France and for Europe. If you had to prioritize to transform France and Europe as fast as possible, you close saying, yes, we are slow, yes, but what can we do right now to really accelerate it, to broaden the economies across Europe, that we have more participants? Is there any one silver bullet that you could do to really accelerate that type of growth?
I don't think there is one silver bullet, but I think on the very short run, given the situation in some critical sectors, I think the European preference is a necessity because we are desynchronized with the others. And the second one is clearly a big bunch of simplifications. The 28th regime, which is being prepared by the Commission, and the deepening of the single market is key. And this is why I insisted on capital market union. I think if we deliver European preference and capital market union, here are two game changers.
Well, you know, I've been talking about the capital market union in Europe as one of the major hindrances compared to the US. And so, yes, but I do believe, as we witnessed starting last year, and we're starting to see it accelerate this year, you're starting to see more international flows coming back to Europe. And so that is beginning, and so I do believe that will accelerate. But in terms of priorities, if you had to tell the Commission, what should they be more swift in terms of transforming Europe faster, so it can compete with the US, compete with Europe, and exceed China and Europe, China and the US?
Look, I think this is the discussion we have clearly with the Commission. We will have an informal summit in February focused on this topic. Everything was largely drafted by both Letta and Draghi's reports and is well known. I think the difference is that Draghi was before China surpluses vis-à-vis Europe. I mean, we should not underestimate the fact that 2025, for the very first time,
$1 trillion.
Yeah, China has such a surplus vis-à-vis the rest of the world, 1/3 vis-à-vis the US, 1/3 Europe, 1/3 the rest of the world.
But it was $1 trillion. It was bigger than any other time.
Yeah, and for the first time, the deficit between Germany and China was a trade deficit for Germany. And this is a game changer for Europe. So this is why, clearly for me, we have to fix this issue. And second, it's about the tariffs. So if I have to tell you what could change the game and our approach for all of us in the year to come, for me it would be a bunch of simplification with all this omnibus package for the Commission, sector by sector, European preference, capital market union, and dismantling of the tariff between US and Europe. Because in such a context, what doesn't make sense is to have tariffs between allies.
Right.
We have to fix the war in Ukraine. We have to help the Ukrainians to resist and find a sustainable peace. We have to fix prosperity in democracies. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have tariffs and be divided, and even to threaten now with additional tariffs. We can use the crazy thing is that we can be put in a situation to use the anti-coercion mechanism for the very first time vis-à-vis the US if they put additional tariffs. Can you imagine that? This is crazy. This is, I do regret that, but this is a consequence of just unpredictability and useless aggressivity. So what we have to do is to remain very calm, all of us. We have such an agenda with so many opportunities and so many challenges. So let's be focused on peace in Europe. Everybody should be focused to help the Ukrainians to have a sustainable peace. Level playing field and fixing the issues and these imbalances with China, because it's an issue for the Europeans and the Americans. And third, let's be focused on more competitiveness in Europe and this big acceleration, full stop.
Throughout the sessions today, and I think during the week, AI is going to be the dominant conversation. And the question is, how does AI develop in Europe? I know there was one conversation already being held on that. What is your vision of AI for France specifically?
Look, we are strong believer, and 1 year ago we organized this AI summit in Paris, and we are one of the most vibrant ecosystem in Europe. We really believe and we are committed on AI because we really think that this is a game changer, not just in terms of productivity precisely and growth, but I mean because this is a true revolution. We have assets in order to do so.
You have a grid and you have power too.
We have power.
And a grid.
And low carbon energy.
Yeah.
No need to have new, coal plants and or oil production in order to deliver the capacities for AI. This is important. We have 90 terawatt-hour available for more AI activities. We have a national grid, super pilotable. Third, we have available capacities for more data centers and computing capacities. And we are delivering the agenda announced 1 year ago. So we are building these capacities, and Europe was lagging behind the US and others on this field. We have talents, very good data scientists, mathematicians, and so on, and we are increasing our training programs and our capacities, and we have several hubs being identified. And we have a critical ecosystem with LLM champions, but as well, we have startup on AI and quantum, I don't forget them, which are extremely present in all these different fields. One of the best evidence of the attractiveness and this vibrant ecosystem is that Jan LeCun when he decided to leave Meta and set up his own company, established it in France a few weeks ago, which is for me a good evidence.
Big win.
A big win, and we will do our best to help him to work. This is a global company, but incorporated in France and established in France with these talents. So we have all these assets. But what is important for me now is to invest, to help all the startups and the companies in this sector to do much more and to increase. But to do my best in order to make sure that their domestic market is the EU market and not just the French one.
Right.
And when we speak about strengthening the single market, this is this point. And this is a game changer, because it means your domestic market is not just 68 million inhabitants, but 450 million. It's super important.
And it's important for Europe to have that unified grid, which it does not have yet.
Exactly.
So, for the remaining time, is there any one message that you really want to push over the course of your remaining term that really will resonate, not just resonate for France, but resonate for the world?
Look, I really believe that we are in these very challenging times, and you mentioned some of these challenges in your speech. I did in mind, and unhappily, we were even not totally complete. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we see the level of investment in this world, in the current environment, and the ongoing revolution. This level of investment has no comparison with what happened during the past years, not to say decades. So my main message would be, let's not be shy. Let's not be divided. Let's not accept a global order which will be decided by those who claim to have I would say, the bigger voice or the bigger stick or the bigger one, I don't know. But let's focus on just common interests and common challenges. We know what we have to fix: growth, peace, climate. And we should not forget climate in this current agenda. We want peace, we want growth, we want climate. And investment, innovation, everything should be dedicated to fix these three issues. And in order to fix these three issues, let's focus on the key investments, the key innovation, but our ability to cooperate as well. And let's be clear, Davos was founded for restoring a global discussion, having a global discussion between business leaders, but as well governments and so on. a global discussion is a discussion where everybody is respected and where you provide an improvement and a way forward for every place and every people in this world. This is the only way to make it sustainable. And I think this is the right way to do. And even if this is less present in the global debate today, we should focus much more on this approach. More cooperation, and let's focus on our key challenge to deliver peace, prosperity, and decarbonization of our economies for our fellow citizens. This is our duty. As business leaders, as head of states and governments, and we have everything in order to deliver this agenda. Just let's be coordinated. Let's not waste time with crazy ideas. Let's not open Pandora box or new topics. And it's not a time for new imperialism or new colonialism. This is a time of cooperation in order to fix these three global challenges for our fellow citizens. Full stop.
We ran out of time. I want to thank the President of the Republic of France, Emmanuel Macron, for his wisdom, but most importantly, for your humanity and your leadership.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it.